Welcome to a very special episode of Avillion and Brayden Talks. I guess is this like a year-long anniversary? Is this the one, or is it the one before? Was that the year?
Technically, the one before I'd say is really the start of season 2 because we got our start by doing predictions. We did predictions a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah, but we did
I
those
don't know.
as
Whenever we
videos.
did,
So as the podcast, I don't know.
I don't even think we've done 52 videos yet.
No, but
I'm
it
not
would
sure.
be a year, not 52 videos, because we missed some
Well,
weeks.
so we're certainly into a year at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, but football's back, baby, and that's what
It's
we've been
finally
on.
back.
As a spoiler for later on for what we've been on, it's been football. We're going to talk a lot about football, but before we get to the football, I'm joined, as always, by my beautiful co-host, Avillion Talks. Jacob, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty. I'm a lot happier now, actually. I've been in a bit of a funk this last week. Not football related. We'll get into that later. It's not the Titans' fault. Um, but it's just been a weird week. I haven't felt right. It hasn't been great. I was on the phone with a friend of mine last night, though, and he talked me through it a bit. I felt better, and I was really looking forward to this today. I'm really happy to be here. Always a highlight of my week to be
Same.
here. Just talking with my best friend. It's good to be here. I've got a cat behind me. Love that little man. He actually guilt tripped me when I left the house this morning. He doesn't usually do that. It's very rare, but I went to pet him. I said goodbye, and I'm about to walk out the door. He actually turned and looked at me, and he just went, "Mom," and I didn't want to leave. I did, but I didn't want him. But I got home. He's happy now, and I'm doing well. Doing well. Whatever workday, excited for this weekend of football. Honestly, excited to get back to it. But tell me about you, sir. How you doing?
So I'm doing pretty good. I got a couple more of these posters. You can see one of them right here. It's the Red Power Ranger with his helmet. T-Rex behind him, swords crossed. And then one of them is just off frame. It's right above here. It is Doom, the Doom Slayer, staring down just the forces of hell,
fuck
pretty much.
yeah!
And
That's
then
nice.
one more. I always get him in 3.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Sick Twilight Princess art. This is the first ever Zelda game I played. So
Beautiful.
I have 2 Power Ranger disc plates, and then 2 Zelda ones. The other Power Ranger one is just off frame over here. The 2 Zelda ones sit over the game setup, the desk setup.
Blended.
Let's see. I'm 50 subs away from 1,000. We're at 950 right now.
We're getting close.
Let's see, because the video, 951, 49 away. I don't know what I'll do for 1,000 subs. I know anytime I do a sub milestone, I've always given a preview of videos to come. And I'm making good progress on some really good videos that I'm excited about.
Good.
I think it'll be a Wii Vault this week on the Bakugan game, Defenders of the Core. Next week, I think a Cosmics opened up near me, and I've been reviewing all the items gradually because I didn't want to order it all at once. So just in batches, I've been getting all through all the different items there. Spoilers for when it comes out. It's not good. It's not a good place so far. Some highlights though. It does have some pretty high highs, but more consistently misses.
Not good.
I don't know if McDonald's, because they're owned by McDonald's, obviously. I don't know if they're still on that I guess they're on a boycott list still. Not gonna feel too bad about that. It sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've just been in a cycle of making videos, working out, pretty chill.
Getting to it.
Oh, I did go to my baby cousin's 3rd birthday this past weekend.
Oh hell yeah!
And then my sister, who went off for college, came back in town that weekend. It's pretty chill, but yeah, that's it. Let's just let's enlighten the day. if I could pull this out.
Speaking of, I did make some tea as well before I started. It's already almost done, but I did make some tea and put a lot of honey in it. It's really good.
I'm a big tea guy. Been getting green tea damn near every day, and then I love a good chamomile before bed.
Hell yeah.
But let's check out this girl boss affirmation from Cher. Don't buy into the idea that women aren't strong enough to do anything they want. Don't underestimate a woman. Totally.
Do not underestimate them women.
Totally vibing with that one. You know, any
I respect women.
Any person could do anything they really put their mind to. So yeah, we're kicking it off with a nice Cher quote, and we are getting into NFL football. So I'll mention it briefly because I said I'm going to be a Bengals fan this season. They lost. Yeah. It doesn't really affect my opinion of them really at all because it's we've become accustomed to Bengals being terrible the first couple weeks, and then randomly they're like
par for the course.
And then they're just like, oh yeah, we're really good at football, and they'll turn it on. Yeah. So zero worry about what that team can be. It's just like, yeah, this is how they always start their seasons. Fucking terrible. So they're 0-1. I don't think I honestly don't know even if I'll even be worried if they go 0-3 because I've seen them do that before. So if they hit 0-4, that's when I'll be like, oh, okay, they're actually just bad this time. But there's a likelihood of hitting that. They play the Chiefs this week when they're bad, so that's not a good combo.
Yeah.
So, not worried. They'll probably go down 0-2, but we move on. But, sir, your team had a very interesting game.
That's one way of putting it.
I need you to give me the entire recap just in this pose.
So, yeah.
Will Levis honor Gia Duddy just in the middle of the fucking game.
I'm sure everybody's seen it by now. It's left the NFL circle. It's just everywhere. It's for good reason. It's fucking hilarious. It's a good picture. He was on his knees, and for good reason. It was one of the worst turnovers you're ever going to see in your life. It's one of the worst plays any quarterback can make. Trying to avoid a sack, and you end up throwing a pick six. It's just making a bad situation worse. But let's start over from the beginning here. The Titans dominated the first half to a degree. They went into halftime at 17-3, and the 3 that the Bears got before halftime, those were the only 3 points that the Bears offense was really responsible for. And
Caleb Williams talked 21 people
Caleb
were
Williams,
quick to react.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Caleb Williams. He's a rookie playing his first ever game, and certainly some of it was even the passes that weren't really as pressured, the ball was coming out very wobbly, and that was a little concerning because why are you looking this scared in your home stadium? For starters, but the Titans did get consistent interior pressure. Maybe not so much off the edge, but inside, Coleman Shelton was getting abused. There was a highlight going around of Ernest Jones on a blitz just fucking annihilating him. If you're a center getting annihilated by a linebacker one-on-one, that's not a good look. O-line coach is going to rip you a new one in the film room. That's for damn sure. Ernest Jones is a great blitzer, but still, that's insane. It's just great play. Vondre Sweat was great. Keandre Coburn was great. The fourth defensive tackle played well. Sebastian Joseph Day played well. Funny enough, Jeff Simmons was probably the most quiet interior guy on the team. He was eating up double teams all game, so it's not like he didn't make any impact. In fact, Harold Landry had a sack where Jeff was triple teamed. It was on a delayed stunt, and Harold Landry stunted inside. Jeff ate up 3 offensive linemen. Landry came unblocked down the middle and sacked Caleb Williams. But what had happened in the second half was Bears brought a little more pressure, and the Titans offense kind of stalled. They had got into a rhythm to end the first half. They had went 3-and-out their first 2 drives, but then they scored a touchdown, scored a field goal after Velus Jones muffed a kickoff. Double agent Velus Jones. He still loves Tennessee. Shout out Tennessee Volunteer Velus Jones. And Titans scored a touchdown on their following possession as well. So play calling got into a rhythm. Levis got into a rhythm. The running game got into a rhythm. Mostly Tony Pollard. Spears only had 4 carries in this game. Callahan definitely. He said he wishes he got Spears more involved. So maybe we'll see more Spears next week. I hope so. I think Spears deserves it. I think You can sell me on Pollard being a better player. He's not a better player to the point where Pollard should be getting damn near 20 carries and Spears should only be getting 4. It's not the workload should not be that much of a differential. It should be a little closer. But the Bears had 24 points with 0 offensive touchdowns and less than 150 total yards of offense. In fact, the Titans were the only defense in the league to give up less than 150 yards of offense. So technically the number 1 defense in the league right now. And defense wins championships, as we all know. So the Titans are winning the Super Bowl this year is my takeaway from week 1. And in all seriousness, the defense is great. The defense is – I don't think it's overreactionary to say the defense will finish top 10. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to maintain, number 1 in yardage allowed all season long. I don't think that's going to happen, especially I don't love the depth in some spots, especially on the edge. But it's going to be a really good defense. The scheme is great. And the Titans were getting pressure only rushing 4 guys, and they were getting it up the middle, which we really just haven't seen too much of outside of Jeff Simmons.
And this is the tough part about week 1 because, like, last year, the Bears, the biggest problem with the O-line was the interior. So,
of course.
Obviously, it's probably both, given just how dominant the defense performance was.
I think so, too.
Oh, number 1 performance? Okay, probably both being offense being terrible, defense being great.
Right. I think, look, Coleman Shelton, like I said, was bad in this game. Nate Davis, since he signed with the Bears, just has not been as good as he was in Tennessee. And Tevin Jenkins is a good player. He didn't necessarily have his best game. He definitely had some losses in this game. But I don't think that discounts how good Tavondre Sweat was. For him to come in his first career NFL game after, of course, some offseason drama with the driving and, that sort of thing. But he's a fucking monster. Blew up multiple run plays. In fact, there was a holding call on the Bears. The hold didn't even stop him. He still got the tackle. Because he's 340-pound behemoth, but he looks great. And then I'm not worried about Jeff having a quiet game in this game. He's Jeff Simmons. He's going to get his, especially now that he has some help on the interior. And Seabass looked good, and Keandre Coburn being the 4th guy made an impact. He got the first sack of the day on Caleb Williams. The secondary looks great. Cheeto Awuzie looks really good. Snead did a couple not great plays in coverage, but you're not worried about L'Jarius Sneed. Curry looks good. Amani Hooker was fantastic, and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. had to come in for a few plays because Awuzie's calf he had a calf injury. During the week was listed as questionable. Played through it, but had to come out for a few plays because of the calf. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. came in and he looked the part. Plug and play, like backup corner, can play nickel, can play outside, whatever. He had a really nice tackle for loss on a 2nd and 1 that led to I think a 3rd and 4. And then he defended the ball well on that 3rd and 4. It was good pass. Caleb overthrew the ball regardless, but it was good pass coverage anyway. So 2 plays in a row, Brownlee really stood out in the drive that Awuzie had to go out. So Titans rookie class certainly gets a plus for this game. Latham, great run in the run game, like an 82.6 run blocking grade, I think. Phenomenal. Not the best day in pass pro. However, Levis did slide to his left a lot unnecessarily in this game. He didn't really step up in the pocket. He just kind of drifted left and created his own pressure in quite a few plays. And he was bad. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. This was a worse game than any game he had last year in the 9 starts that he had. This was the worst game of his career. And I couldn't quite tell you what it was. To some degree, it looked like he was trying too hard to not be himself, which is, somebody who wants to just kind of throw it, just happy, like, I want to sling that bitch. He was, I think, focused too much on the underneath stuff and not really focused on trying too hard not to make mistakes, and then ended up making a couple mistakes as a result, which is odd because in the first half, he didn't really do that. He had a pretty decent first half. Wasn't amazing, but generally, he took a sack in the first half while in field goal range. Didn't take him out of field goal range, but instead of just throwing the ball in harm's way, he gave himself up. And then the very next play, he tossed a screen pass in the dirt because it was covered. He didn't try to do anything stupid. He just, did what he should do. But it kind of unraveled in the second half, and it was concerning to watch, and it was concerning for Brian Callahan as well. He said he was surprised, honestly, by a lot of the stuff that he saw, and it's just a really tough loss. It's really one of the most infuriating games I've watched as a Titans fan. It's the most I've yelled at my TV in a minute, and I wasn't even drinking. So But somebody did point out, it's certainly much better in week 1 to lose a game primarily by beating yourself. Not that the Bears don't deserve credit. They did block a punt. They got the pick six. Like, it was the pressure that made that play possible. But generally speaking, if the Titans don't get in their own way, they do seal the deal. They do win this game. And it's a lot, as infuriating as that loss is, in terms of optimism for a season, in terms of your outlook for what your team could be. It is a lot better to give up 24 unanswered points after scoring 17 straight to start the game and realizing you could have done so much better than it is to be the Carolina Panthers right now, quite frankly.
This sounds like a great segue. Do you want to jump into worst
losses? This does sound like a great segue. And we can start with worst losses. And my pick we have a different pick. We have a
so ladies and gentlemen,
last year.
We have 4 different categories for the games. We each picked a different game beforehand, so we can talk about as many games as possible. We have worst wins, worst losses, best wins, best losses. We're going to start off with that beautiful segue into worst loss of the week. Mm-hmm. Jacob went and picked the Carolina Panthers just getting destroyed by the New Orleans Saints, a team that I struggled to see wins for in the season. I had zero faith in.
Much less a 47-point game in.
Yeah, if you told me they're the first team to drop 40-plus, I would have been like, the Saints? I get the Panthers are bad, but the Saints? No, apparently, just that. And the Panthers' season is getting worse with Derek Brown being out.
Yeah.
But,
to add injury to insult, I guess, in this scenario, rather than the other way around. Derek Brown is out for the season.
Yeah, I'll let you fully take over this segment, as you were a Bryce Young guy. I was kind of hating on him a little bit last year. I never fully said it's just his fault, obviously.
Right.
But it's looking tough.
Not only a Bryce Young guy, but a big Dave Canales believer in fixing Bryce Young because of what he did with Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield the last 2 years. And it's just tough to look at. And I know it's only week 1. There's time to figure this out, but the clock's ticking, certainly, for Bryce to show something, anything. And it's just an awful, they don't look any better. They look worse. They look like shit. Like nothing. And Ejiro Evero's defense doesn't even look good anymore. That's something you could count on, at least with last year's Panthers, is Ejiro Evero was a good coach. The defense looked good. Defense didn't look good in this game.
Yeah. You lose Brian Burns. Now you're out with
lose Brian Burns. Now you don't have Derek Brown for the season. It's just fucking awful. I don't even know what you do. Where's the hope? I'm hoping we get a better better play from Bryce Young. If you said, I'm a Bryce Young guy, I always have been. I'd like it, but at this point, I don't know if we're gonna get it.
I think we're seeing what it looks like when you have the mental side of the game, but you just truly do not have any of the physical side. It just looks like he just does not belong physically.
I don't know if he belongs mentally either. I don't know if his confidence is just not. Maybe it's just completely shot from that. Football PTSD is real, and quarterbacks experience it more than anybody. If your receivers don't get open often enough, you're not going to trust them when they do get open. If they don't catch passes, you're not going to trust them. You have to trust them when they're open to catch the ball. If your offensive line is getting abused and you're getting abused as a result, you're not going to trust your internal clock anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about playing quarterback, if you get thrown into the fire as a rookie, that if your situation is awful, it does stick with you. And it looks like that's what's happening with Bryce.
I'm watching that game, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he's really smart. He should probably just try coaching at this point. I was like, dude, you're fucked. I was like, I think you'll be a great coach, at least a good play caller. I bet you could probably come up with some great plays. You'll be able to read a defense from the sideline pretty well, call the right play.
Go be a grad assistant at Bama now. Go help out the new staff. Go. I mean, if it doesn't work out this year, seriously, if within the next couple of years or so, if he can't even turn it around to make himself look like a playable quarterback in this league,
because Bryce, you're done. I think after this year, you'll probably get. My guess, all right, week 1 reactionary guess is that they finish. Maybe probably the worst record, if not up there for a quarterback. and I feel like they probably would trade him away for a late pick, and get in a vet.
Maybe, get something.
I mean, I don't know. It's not looking good. I think the dream scenario for the Panthers would be to get the number one overall pick, like the QB3 consensus, trade down, get your guy. You'd still be like the top 5 or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I not even looked at the quarterbacks in this draft, but like you have the number one pick, you like a guy that people are that less people are high on. You trade down, you get your guy, you get other assets because this team is terrible. You need so much. This is dream. What would really happen is they get the number one pick and take a quarterback because that's you can't risk that.
What they've done is, I mean, they put themselves in this situation by sending the house for a quarterback that isn't good, and in turn gave Chicago, what is probably going to be a better quarterback. Caleb wasn't great in week 1. I'm not worried about him long term. I think he'll be fine. And along with a ton of other assets. So including DJ Moore.
I was literally about to say, Bryce Young would love DJ Moore right now. DJ Moore had a quiet game by his standards. I'm not worried about that team overall. I just think, hey, I know Caleb Williams had that clip going around where he's like he doesn't get nervous. He was nervous one time. I don't know. You were nervous. You were probably nervous game 1. That's totally fine.
Nervous. To be. Every single ball was wobbly coming out of your hand. You were nervous. It's okay.
That's totally fine.
You'll
bounce back from it.
He's going to be looking really good. I'm not worried. He gets to be 1-0, so like he gets to learn from it, but not let it get to him to such a degree. Because hey, ultimately the team won. That's what's most important. He can move on from it easier. But anyways, the Panthers. I stashed Jonathan Brooks in a couple leagues, and I still like that because that offense is like, fuck it, we need something. Yeah. So he might just end up getting a ton of receiving work too. I don't know, just check downs and stuff. So we'll see. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Panthers. But we could switch over to my worst loss. Yeah.
And it was when the Vikings beat the Giants. And one of the reasons this is the worst loss is because when we were picking worst loss, and I threw out this one, Jacob, you said maybe not because there's an out next year for this team. That's what you said to talk me down of it. You were like, it could be worse. There's worse because this team can get out of their quarterback next year.
And Cleveland can't, was my argument. Cleveland does not have that luxury. They're fucked.
I'll bring up that game a little bit later because I'll mention the Cowboys. I'll mention them a little bit later. Fuck it. But the Giants, because it's like, Malik Neighbors looked good. Okay, he's not getting the ball. He's just Daniel Jones is not going to do it enough. He's gonna chuck it to him at times. It's and the worst part is this team watching Saquon score 3 touchdowns, his first game. The owner, especially that whole front office, that everything is probably just fired off of that alone. That the owner probably watched the Eagles play, saw Saquon score 3 touchdowns, and said, our fan base loved that guy so much, we let him go. He's playing for our rival, playing better than he ever has with us, and that's our fault for that. This front office is gone. They're probably going to clean house after this year. Brian Daboll will probably be like, go. They'll probably burn it down. And this is a more salvageable team. I like some of their defensive players. They traded for Brian. They are the ones who got Brian Burns. They have Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Malik Neighbors on offense. You have a potentially. I like him. I think everyone likes him. Malik Neighbors. You have this potential like true number 1 wide receiver. It's like, Andrew Thomas is still there on the offensive line. It's just like, hey, we'll get off Daniel Jones. I'm bringing in a new everything in the front office because this has not been good at all. Gonna get in a new quarterback. Shore up some of the other stuff. Try to get some other weapons around that besides so you're not just relying on this one guy. You tried to get Darren Waller, right? Darren Waller, this is where he went to, right? And then retired?
He retired, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, A for effort on that, I guess.
Well, Waller played last year. They had him last year, but I don't know. He wasn't like...
I'll be honest, I totally forgot he played for him.
Yeah. Played for him last year, retired this offseason.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and just because we're talking about the game, we've been high on a quarterback.
I was hoping we'd get to this. I was hoping
we've been high on a quarterback.
Somehow.
You both have said like, hey,
my goodness.
he bounced around from like worst situation to worst situation. Like,
give him a real shot.
He was on the Jets. We'll talk about that game later. We see how bad like that team's being run, even though they've been hitting on like team building on the defensive side. They have some stuff on offense, personnel wise.
Not enough.
It's like Brees Hall. Anyway, we'll talk about that team later. But anyways, he went from that team. He went from that team that's not being run right to then the Panthers, who we just talked about. Then got to be a backup in the Niners for the Niners, and now he's with the Vikings. And you're like, oh, right, this guy was highly touted for a reason. He's very talented. You just give him a good coach, he's gonna look good.
He looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, throwing to Justin. He started like 12 of 12, however many yards.
Sam
great
VP
passer
is back.
rating.
Sam VP is back.
Yeah,
he's fucking back.
I'm happy for him. Because I've never heard anything bad about him or how he handled anything ever. I don't remember ever hearing anything bad.
I've never heard any negative news. I've never heard any teammates say, "Oh, Sam's a bitch." I've never heard any reporter say, "Oh, Sam, lacked effort in everything." And there's a reason he keeps getting jobs. Yeah, there's a reason San Francisco gave him good backup. There's a reason he got a 1-year, $10 million contract this offseason. That's a prove-it deal. By all means, that is a – but the reason he's even being given that opportunity is because the league has not given up on Sam Darnold.
Right,
and you shouldn't have either.
These teams talk. They're like, hey, how is he in the locker room? Yeah. They must be saying, oh, he's great in the locker room. People like him because otherwise he's not getting these opportunities. And as I felt bad for Josh Rosen – for like going to the Cardinals, that was a bad situation. Going to the Dolphins, that was a bad situation. There was some stuff about him that rubbed people the wrong way. Can't say that. He's a Nepo
baby, spoiled rich kid. His parents, I think, were Silicon Valley tech people.
I think he got humbled, and I think you could see the growth in him. But he started off on the wrong foot. That's a bad thing. And Sam never had that issue.
No, never had that problem with him. It's like Colin Cowherd said, the Midwest ethos, blue-collar work ethic, thick, chunky, coastal kid. God. He still got it.
Dude, you know what? I haven't seen anything from Colin Cowherd. He definitely talked about that game. I gotta hear him speak about it.
Oh, now thinking about it, he has something nice to say about Sam Darnold. I'd like to go back and watch that.
I do need to check that out.
I was just thinking about, like, after he was drafted, like, nobody was higher on Darnold than Cowherd. When he was like, the floor is Andrew Luck. And I think Joel Klatt was on the show, and he was like, that's fucking insane.
That is true.
Klatt was like, the floor cannot be generational quarterback. Yeah. That's ridiculous. But
weirdly enough, the floor was, because it's like, hey, good quarterback failed by the team.
Right, but
very different ways and flavors, and so much else is different, but very broad look at it.
I'm just so glad we're getting Sam Darnold football in the year 2024, and we're in year 7 of this experiment, and people are still trying, and it's working. And I'm glad the league hasn't given up on him in year 7, and I'm glad he hasn't given up on himself. I'm glad he's still wanting to do this. Especially you bounce around, like you haven't really been given a fair shot, like. It's so easy to just hang him up and say, yeah, I've made my money, I'm going to go home. No, he wants to play football, and he looks good.
We knew that Sam Darnold was always going to start, even with how JJ looked in the preseason. Some people were like,
Darnold started those preseason games.
Yeah, some people were like, oh, man, we're not going to see JJ this year anymore. We might not have anyways.
But you weren't seeing him regardless.
We probably weren't, and then you see it,
Now, I still think, unless Darnold just blows this season away, I do think they're going to let him walk. He's going to get a nice contract from somebody else, and Raiders? JJ will be the guy next year. Raiders is the first team on my mind, because that's a team that's talented enough to probably not finish to get the top quarterback or the top 2, but also clearly a need there. Like Minshew and O'Connell are not going to do it for you.
Or even if they do, it's like, how do they feel about the class? How do they feel about some of the top talent they could get in this class? The roster as a whole, hey, are we like a solid quarterback and like a blue chip talent away? Like, anyways, Raiders would be great. Raiders is currently the number one. Like, if this quarterback leaves, this is where they should go. That's number one.
If Will Levis looks like he does the rest of the season in week 1, I'll take Sam Darnold. You know how happy I'd be to have Sam Darnold on my football team.
That'd be awesome.
And in Brian Callahan's scheme, he'd be a great fit. I think he'd be really good.
Okay, so that was our worst losses.
Worst loss.
Do we want to stay with worse? Do we want to stay with losses? Do we want to flip the script
Let's
entirely, go to best win?
Shit, what are you feeling?
Let's stay on the loss side. Let's do best
I
losses.
think that's fair. All right.
We'll stay on the loss
do
side.
you want to do this one first? Do you want me to do this one
Sure,
first?
I'll start us off. This is I took this one because I have to talk about two teams that Jacob
Does not like
in terms of division rivalries. I went with my best loss. I went with the Colts in their loss against the Texans because AR looked great. I mean, that team as a whole looked really good. I'm very high on the Texans right now. So just hanging with that team, a team that I'm just gonna put in the. I'll put the Texans in like either just making the contender list or like right on the bubble.
Just outside, yeah.
But being able to hang with a team like that, I get that they were at home, but at the same time, it's like this quarterback played, 2 full games last year? Like, this isn't like...
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about this early home loss in the division. And now it makes it hard for them to win the division. Not out of it, obviously, but just as being a competent team that we're going to see in the playoffs at this point. I loved how they looked.
I think so. I picked them to win the South.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Colts, it's just like what we thought they could be. They looked like it week 1, even though it did end in a loss. It's just because the team they played is another team that I'm very high on. Looked like how I thought they could be. That battle between Stroud and AR is going to be really fun to watch going forward.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have on that one. If you want to give us your best loss.
See. My best loss. I went with Arizona. Now they did choke a double-digit lead. It's not like the prettiest loss in the world. However, they did this. They were on the road. They looked good offensively, and there was a lot of meat left on the bone, especially with Marvin Harrison Jr. He got open downfield a lot. If you watch those plays back,
I saw it.
Marv was getting open multiple times. He was throwing the mailbox. Like he was. Kyler's short. Sometimes he don't see very well. I get it. It's not going to be that way all year. No. He's going to find him. It's going to work. It just needs some time. I think he only had 1 catch in this game.
Yep, it was 1 for 4 yards or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 1 for 4.
It was bad. But I realized I played against Marvin Harrison in one of my fantasy leagues. I was like, oh, sick.
Well, Odunze only had 1 catch, and he wasn't even targeted on the play. It was a ball that got batted way up in the air, and he was just Johnny on the spot.
I almost started Rome in one of my leagues. Decided, let me try Zach Moss instead.
1 catch, 11 yards, and a fumble was Rome Odunze's final stat. That was the most Looney Tunes play you're ever going to see in your life. That if there was a play that could sum up Bears versus Titans, it was pass, bounced up in the air, Odunze caught it, fumbled it, Bears player recovered it. That's a good way to sum up the game.
But yeah, Marvin Harrison's getting open, and I liked what I saw from Dortch. Trey McBride looked like Trey McBride.
Michael Wilson looks really good as well.
He had 1 catch, but it was the touchdown.
I think we're gonna see a lot more Michael Wilson this year. He's a damn good football player. I don't think people realize how good he was last year. And
James Conner looks really good. And then we both like Trey Benson, who's right there behind him.
He is on my bench. I kind of stashed him in late in the fantasy draft. In fact, I think I sniped you. I think you wanted him. I think you were going to.
I know Gabe sniped me hard.
I know
you took him, but
you wanted Benson. Then I think, yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, that the rest of the receiving core looked really good, and Marvin Harrison looked good. He just didn't get the ball, which will change. So it would all come together.
Yeah.
That looked really good. I didn't really pay much attention to their defense, though. Did you see anything there?
Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns. It's not a great defensive performance, which is kind of to be expected when you lose your 1 pass rusher that you really have for the year. I'm pretty sure, B.J. Ojolari is out for the season. I think he had a camp injury.
Yeah. But is there anything if I factor in that it's against Josh Allen, there's some stuff.
I had the game on. I wasn't really paying too close attention.
No, I was just watching.
It was a 1 o'clock slate.
I'll be camera. I watched primetime games and Red Zone. That was it.
Yeah. I have this problem where the Titans almost always play at the 1 o'clock slate, right? When the Titans lose, I don't watch the 4 o'clock games. I
don't blame
decompress. I blow off steam and I'll watch the Sunday night game. Right, but the 4 o'clock, like somebody on Twitter said, like the 4 o'clock game is like my reset period. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. I can't watch foot. I'm pissed off every time I see a good play. I'm thinking, why couldn't we do that? I'm pissed off. Like I made some tea and I took a nap.
You watch a player that the Titans passed on in the draft, and you're like, what the fuck is this going on?
The Titans took Des Fitzpatrick over Amon-Ra St. Brown, and if I ever see John Robinson, I'm punching him in his fat fucking face.
You probably didn't feel that bad this week.
No, but
3 catches, 13 yards.
No, but still, that was a fun game to watch though.
At least you didn't draft him in the first round. I did that. I did that.
I was with you when you did. Yeah. Tough game for Arizona, but honestly, I feel better about them knowing they can hang with a team like Buffalo. They're gonna have a nice year. I think ultimately, at least the offense could look really good. So we'll see. Your best or no? Wait a minute.
We're doing swap over to wins because now we're on the win side. We can do best wins.
Worst win or best win?
We can say best wins for last. I'll go worst win. I just looking around. This is probably I think this is usually the toughest one for us to pick. I went with the Steelers over the Falcons. Just when you win only off kicks, it's definitely worrisome for the offense. Russell Wilson was sitting there in the pads, ready to go, but he didn't play.
That is the corniest, most Russell Wilson thing.
Well, he was the emergency quarterback.
Oh.
He was QB3.
Yeah.
Because he was too hurt to be QB1.
And allegedly, Fields is going to start next week too.
I've heard that. Yeah, they're prepping him for
Fields. Speaking of Fields, Justin Fields attempted 23 passes in this game.
I saw the
Not a single one of them was between the numbers.
Insane. I don't even know how you accidentally don't do that.
He's not a quarterback. He's not a real quarterback. He's just not like he doesn't see the field. He's like, I'm going to throw it to this guy outside. That's it. That's Now, granted, I'm sure Jesse Bates was doing a great job covering the middle of the field. I didn't watch this game, of course, because it was a 1 o'clock game. But did damn good safety. I'm sure he was doing his best. But you could draw a giant fucking square in terms of space that Fields didn't even look at.
Yeah, I mean,
the ball to. That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable.
Do you look at Justin Fields and you go, "Hey, can you embrace like a Taysom Hill role? Like what do you do?"
I don't know because I feel like he's certainly a better quarterback I think than Taysom Hill was, and like the experiments we've seen from him, like in like starting a full game.
But it's like Fields. You can't throw in the middle of the field. I don't want you at quarterback, but you want to be Taysom Hill, or a better version of Taysom Hill. Yeah,
he's certainly a better athlete than Hill is. Like and he's got the size to like.
It's just it's tough, and it's just like I don't know. But you know what? I'll give some credit to the Steelers in the fact that they had this game plan around this quarterback and his limitations, did enough of it to win. But it's just like, damn, not a single touchdown.
This is a very Steelers win. Certainly, this is in Steelers fashion. We're going to play defense and we're going to kick field goals. And,
and then the Falcons, boy, I'm ready to be like, well,
I sure am glad they drafted a quarterback in the top 10. Because Kirk didn't look too great, and
it's week one.
Not that I'm not worried necessarily, but it's a good defense and he's first game back from Achilles.
I know it's week 1, but now I'm like, maybe I should have picked the Bucs to win that division. I know they played the Commanders, who aren't going to be particularly good, but
Baker Mayfield look good.
Week 1, it's like, damn, Chris Godwin's in a role that he belongs in now. Yeah. Like that changes that team's offense.
Yeah,
because they won the division.
Looks like Mike Evans still.
Yeah, Mike Evans is still Mike Evans.
Hasn't missed a beat. Jalen McMillan played good football in that game. Bucky Irving actually gives them a running back who can run the football because Rachaad White's not very good at that. And it gives them a little more dynamic run game.
But yeah, so for the Steelers, I picked a team that didn't score a touchdown like that, and won, so that you're gonna have one of the worst wins.
We're gonna see a lot of ugly Steelers wins this year.
Ugly.
Where they're gonna will themselves to a 9-8 season with 7+ ugly wins. It's Steelers football.
As
That's
long
what
as they stay out of the
What they're
playoffs, I do not want to have to watch a playoff game with one in there.
No, please, no. I'm good. We don't need a 7-seed Steelers this year.
Yeah, your worst win.
Worst win.
Sure.
I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles, and now Saquon Barkley looked good, which was to be expected. I mean, this offensive line made DeAndre Swift look good last year.
Hey, buddy, you know the league that we're in together?
Yeah.
I got Saquon, baby.
You got Saquon. Jalen Hurts looked like shit.
Yep.
Like, I don't know the exact number of turnover-worthy plays, but at least counting on the live broadcast, it looked like 7. I don't know what it was charted, but I know he had a lower PFF grade than Will Levis, who quite literally threw the game away. So, not a great day for Hurts. I think he had like a 27.9 or something like that was his final. Not that PFF grades are everything, but there's a reason the league values it so much. It means something.
To me, they're part of the equation. They're a tool. I like them. I'm not. They're not the end-all, be-all, but I do like them.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, that's something. Everything, no, something.
Right. It's something, and when tape backs it up, when Jalen Hurts looks like shit, even on the live broadcast,
that's why
I don't have the all-22, but I'm sure it doesn't look. It's
so infuriating to watch because I'm like, Packers, take advantage of this, please.
Just put the foot on the gas, and dude, if Jordan Love had been out for the season, I would have been inconsolable. I'm so glad he's only missing a few games, and one of them might be against Tennessee. So, Jordan, take an extra week to be healthy if you need it. Malik is probably going to start this week, and which
damn,
I ain't watching that game.
I mean, Will Levis was picked over that guy. That's what Will Levis looked like. What are we about to see from Malik?
Granted, Matt LaFleur, I'm sure Matt LaFleur will do a better job with Malik than probably Todd Downing or Tim Kelly did in the last couple of years. But yeah, it's you're not expecting Malik to go in there and light the world on fire.
No,
especially only having been there a month.
They're about to be run heavy.
Yeah,
including running Malik a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Malik should get there should be some read option in this game.
10 carries.
Josh Jacobs didn't look like amazing, but he didn't look like
he disappointed me. I was pretty high on what he could be this season because with the new team, but
we'll see.
Yeah, it's a week 1, but
he might be a contract year merchant though. For all we know, he might be a contract year.
Maybe. I don't hate players like that. Just like, hey, you know what? You're bag chasing.
Get in the bag and yeah, whatever. I mean, you do what you got to do, but yeah, just it's weird to see a team score 34 points and have like such great play from Barkley, and it's just like I don't feel great about your season though because your quarterback fucking stinks, and like I've always been low on Hurts, but like
Is the tush push gone? I remember it failed at least once. I know it had failed at least once. It's
probably not gone, but it's definitely not going to be like Jason Kelce was the engine that drove the train.
Yeah. The
leverage that Kelce was getting, Cam Jurgens has a similar build. He's not Jason Kelce, at least not yet. He's far removed, in fact. He had some struggles in this game in his own right. Like, I don't know. There's not a lot of bad wins where to pull from. Most teams that won either won convincingly or they came back in the second half. Like Miami's win was kind of ugly. Certainly Chicago's win was kind of ugly, but also I was going to talk about them in the tight segment anyway, so we've already kind of gone over that. And that's probably about it for me. I don't have a whole lot of much else to say about that one.
Okay, and then finally we have our best wins. I decided to go with the Lions over the Rams. You get a nice overtime game. You get just a beautiful win in terms of how you win at the end of just running it in such great fashion. And anytime I see Jared Goff beat the Rams, I think I'm just going to be happy. I'm just going to be like, this is fucking awesome to see.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty high on the Lions. I think this is the team I had to come out of the NFC. I like the Rams. Now, they do lose Puka for at least 4 games, which sucks. But Cooper Kupp was Cooper Cupping, so you have at least that to look forward to. And if there's a coach that's going to look at what happened offensively, adjust, and get better, it's going to be Sean McVay. So I think they beat a good team, and they just in a great fashion. I was high on Jameson Williams. I told you he could have a really good year. He has a great first game of the year: 5 catches, 100-something yards, and a touchdown.
And good for him. Good for him. Honestly, I've always liked Jameson Williams. I'm happy that he looks like a receiver now and not just a gadget guy. Because they have one of those already. They have Khalif Raymond. They don't need another Khalif Raymond. They need a guy who will stretch the field like every fucking play. And yeah, he looked good.
It's looking good. But yeah, that team made the conference finals last year, and it's like, hey, this franchise is not used to sustained success or success at all. You had it last year. Can you do it again? They come out the gate looking great. So I have the Lions as my personal best win of the week, at least my favorite win of the week. Your best win, sir.
My best win is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. Did watch most of this game last night. Excuse me. They look really good, and they did that without Christian McCaffrey. They did it, Brandon Ayuk not really being quite himself in this game, and still no Dre Greenlaw, I believe. I'm fairly certain, anyways, he's not back yet.
There's no way.
Yeah. So, they're not at full strength. They're going to be even better as the year goes on, and unless, barring any, major injury, which certainly could happen. It happens to most teams. But, I don't want to predict. I can't predict that, so I'm just going to say chances are this team's going to look even better a couple months from now. So there's just a lot to like, and they didn't really lose much this offseason. Just a damn good football team. No other way to look at it. So
just move the ball well against a good Jets defense.
The Jets look beatable, and we got through our game picks. I totally forgot we threw game picks as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that after. We'll do it before or after Brayden's best.
We'll do it after. Let's do it before.
Okay.
How
did we do it last week?
I don't remember.
I think we might have done. I think we did it afterwards because I think we did it after Brayden's best because if we did it before. Wait, hang on. Fuck. No, Brayden's best spoils the game picks. We did the game picks first. That's what we did.
Yes. What we did. Okay, we'll run that back. Anyways, yeah.
Yes.
Jets.
They look beatable. And that offensive coaching staff that I have been harping on for years now, it still looks like shit. This is year 2. They're running it back with Nathaniel Hackett and Todd Downing and Keith Carter. They all fucking suck. It hasn't changed. Yeah. It's not going to change. They've all always been bad coaches. It's not going to miraculously turn around. Rodgers looks better than any quarterback the Jets lined up last year, except for that one game of Zach Wilson. But
Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson on third down, saving a drive is only going to work apparently once.
Yeah,
they worked one drive.
Of their first 6 drives, they went 3 and out on 4 of them.
Yeah, I will say this though. Last year, I saw this stat. Last year, Breece Hall had 1 carry from within the 5-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, he had 1. So he's already tied last year's total. So he's off to a better start.
Granted, I think Braylon Allen's probably going to get, as the year goes on, Braylon Allen might be getting some of those goal line opportunities because he is just a bigger, thicker running back. He might be getting some. We'll see. But yeah. He's only 20 years old, don't you know? Braylon Allen's only 20 years old.
And we see the Niners being able to plug in any running back as Jordan Mason just goes crazy.
28 carries, 146 at a tie. Yeah.
Plus 1 or 2 receptions for a couple more yards.
Yeah, he had some good catches in there. Those are quality catch. He would catch him in a run. Great game for Jordan Mason.
Let's see. Jordan Mason had 28 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown, and then 1 reception for 5 yards.
I think Isaac Guerrero got a carry at the end of the game, too. Shout out Isaac Guerrero. That was awesome. I think so. I don't know. I know he had snaps. I don't know if he ever got the ball.
No.
Okay, he was there. He was lined up, so that was good to see anyway. So big Isaac Guerrero guy, so that was...
Yeah, but then for the Jets, I think in the first half, Garrett Wilson was the only wide receiver to catch a pass, the only other one being Breece Hall. And then I guess so. I think all of Alan Lazard's stuff might have come in like the second half.
The two people in the world who started Alan Lazard in fantasy had a great day. I think I saw a screenshot of somebody who had bet Alan Lazard for 2+ touchdown catches, and when Lazard got the one, there was a cash out option for $91, or he could let it ride for like $2,000. I don't know if he cashed out or not. I just saw the screenshot. So I know I'd feel like shit if I cashed that out, and Lazard got the garbage time second touchdown. But
he sees Tyrod Taylor coming. He's like, I'll just cash this out. Fuck.
They're just going to run the ball. No! Oh my God, I had a friend who won a fantasy game based off that one Tyler Conklin catch on the last drive. I had a friend who won a fantasy game because Tyler Conklin caught one ball on the final drive of the game.
I won in our league just because fucking George Kittle had 8 points. Like, I needed him to have like 7 points something. He had 8.
Yeah.
Are we making picks?
I think we're making picks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after week 1, I got 12 right. Jacob got 8.
Wow. Ay, that's bad. That's I'm gonna bounce back.
Oh, here I can pull up week 1 and we could see. So we were both right about KC, both wrong about Green Bay, both wrong about Atlanta.
Green Bay.
I had Buffalo. You had Arizona. I had Chicago.
I was almost right on that. I was right on that for like a quarter.
And then also, speaking of almost being right, I had Chicago. You had Tennessee.
I was right on that for 3.5 quarters.
We were both wrong about Cincy. We were both right about Houston, both right about Miami, both wrong about Carolina. Let's see. Both right about Minnesota. I was right about the Chargers. You were wrong about Vegas. Both right about the Seahawks, both right about Dallas, both right about Tampa. I had Detroit, you had the Rams. And then we were both right about San Francisco.
If overtime rules weren't stupid, I might have been right about that one. We'll never know. Just run the ball down a motherfucker's throat was the overtime game plan for the Lions. And you know what, Matthew Stafford, you always call tails. You always call tails. Like that's what Randy Moss said. You don't play the PlayStation like us. You're supposed to call tails. You never call heads in overtime. You always call tails. What the fuck's wrong with you? Do better.
But pick time.
All right, we got this is a banger Thursday night game.
Great Thursday night game. Super excited for this one.
Two good Thursday night games in order to start the season. Granted, the first one's always good because it's a Super Bowl champion versus a playoff team here. But
we got the Bills at the Dolphins. We got 2 division rivals going at it. Both won week 1. Gonna be fun. I will be riding with Buffalo.
Oh fuck yeah!
I said absolutely. Josh Allen's MVP. He needs some primetime wins to get that. I'm going to ride with Buffalo here.
I think Miami's actually favored a little bit because they're at home. I get it. They're favored actually by less than 3, so it's less than home field advantage.
Okay.
I think in terms of there was some injury news. I think with Miami here. I think, Achane and Mostert are both questionable. So we might be seeing a Jeff Wilson or Jalen Wright. We'll see both of them if they're both out. But Jeff Wilson and Jalen Wright should both get run regardless in this game because if they're both questionable, they're not going to play the same snap they usually do. 18 players on the injury report for Miami, and 9 for Buffalo is still quite a bit. But, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Ramsey, Liam Eichenberg, Malik Washington, Raheem Mostert, Anthony Schwartz, who cares?
I'm only buying it out. I only care about it if it says out.
Yeah. Some of these guys are on IR. Never mind. But yeah.
Anyways, I got the Bills.
Or IR. Yeah. I've got Buffalo. Definitely got Buffalo here. But
and then
the following game, we got the Sunday slate here.
Yep.
Here we go.
We got Raiders at Ravens for the first one.
Give me a bounce back game for Baltimore, and I will be concerned if the Ravens lose this game.
100%. But I definitely got Baltimore here. And then
Chargers and Panthers. We're seeing a 2-0 start probably for the Chargers here. That's interesting.
Very, but I'm definitely going Chargers, Panthers. Gonna be tough to ever find a game to pick them. If the Saints start to look like how I think they could have been, I think, beginning of the season. Maybe I'll pick them against. Maybe I don't know.
If ever there was a game for Bryce Young to just get some easy completions, it's going to be in Germany against the Giants in November. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers. We've got Saints at Cowboys. Give me Dallas.
Dallas here. I forgot to talk about them.
Saints and Panthers anymore. So
I forgot to talk about it. I'm going to do it real quick right now. Firstly, for the Browns, I saw a meme saying Deshaun Watson died on that massage table. This is a new man.
This is somebody else.
This is something else. It was hilarious. But for the Cowboys, I've seen this before where they look great week one. This isn't going to make me flip, but I will give flowers. I love DeMar Overshown. I've let that be known multiple times on this pod. To see him come out, get a sack, his first game look really good, was awesome. We have a rookie at corner who looked really good out there, Carson. Yeah. I mean, I don't know his first name. I keep calling him Ken Carson, but
Kalen. It's Kalen.
Yeah.
Caelan. Kalen Carson. Yeah. Wake Forest. Shout out.
Eric Kendricks comes out, has 2 sacks, a pick. Trevon Diggs comes back, gets a pick. Micah Parsons has a sack and then bats up the ball that leads to the Eric Kendricks interception. Deron Bland is going to come back at some point. That defense does look great. Offensively, you paid a quarterback an absurd amount of money. An amount of money that as a football player he just does not deserve. Love Dak as a person. Walter Payton Man of the Year winner. $60 million for 170-something yards from him this. And I know it doesn't actually kick in. He's not getting the $60 million yet. But that's how I'm going to be wording it from here on. I did the math. It's like $3.5 million a game from him. Yeah. When that team flames, let me make clear about something. I think Dak can win a Super Bowl as the quarterback. I even think Mike McCarthy can win the Super Bowl as a head coach. Not together. Not together. You need at least an elite head coach or an elite quarterback. Neither of them are that. I think both are good. Mike McCarthy, I've said from when we hired him to where I'm at now, he has grown on me ultimately. Some dips, some roller coaster there, but ultimately he's grown on me. I like him as a head coach, but they're just not going to be a Super Bowl winning duo. And with Dak getting paid, Mike, I think you deserve to be a head coach next year. I just doubt it will be with us. My guess, fuck it. Write the check, Bill. Come in. Bill Belichick, come in. I don't know.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect.
But
Belichick Dallas would be ideal.
Yeah. But anyways, I'll give the flowers to the defense.
Yeah.
Offense, you did enough, I guess. When you're blowing a team out, it's like, what do you really want the offense to do? They shouldn't show their best plays when they're already winning by however much they are. So, but ultimately, $60 million.
Yeah.
Highest paid player in the NFL, in NFL history. Dak Prescott. Yeah. Undeserved. But anyways, we move on to the next game on the slate. Bucks at Lions.
Give me Detroit, though. This should be a really good game.
Yeah, Detroit in a fun one. This should be fun
Could see
regardless.
A Tampa upset here, certainly, but I think this will be a Detroit win. It'll be a very fun one.
Yeah. Colts at Packers. This is going to be the Packers without Jordan Love.
We're seeing a Malik Willis-led Packers. Give me Anthony Richardson.
Like, those couple weeks of Jordan Love being out really shifts how I thought this NFC is going to land. Because there's just no way. I know I had the Lions winning the division, but I could see Packers competing for it. No way. With the multiple game setback they're going to have with Malik Willis being in at quarterback.
Yep.
But Browns at Jags. I'll go Jags. I just don't like or trust the Browns.
I'm going to go Jacksonville. It's quarterback play matters here. Trevor Lawrence looked pretty good. He only got to throw 7 passes in the second half. So it's
Brian Thomas Jr.
You can't really blame him for the collapse. Love me some BTJ. Absolutely, he was great. The touchdown to him, the throw was nuts. Like if you saw how what it looked like when he let go of that ball versus what it looked like when the ball got to Brian Thomas Jr. That is just great anticipation for Trevor.
And Brian Thomas Jr. Drew a pass interference in the end zone that he probably would have caught if the pass interference wasn't there. So he almost had 2 touchdowns in his debut. It would have been a long one, So almost had an amazing
He
debut.
looks really good.
Yeah, he looks
I'm
good.
glad I picked him up in one of my leagues. I'm very excited.
I have him in a lot of leagues. But
Yeah.
and then
His ADP was
Niners.
ridiculous. It was disgustingly low. He's such a steal, such an obvious steal this year. Niners at Vikings. Do I have to? I don't want to pick the Vikings to lose this game, man.
I'm not. I think this is the team that upset him last year, the Vikings, and Sam Darnold, I think right now is just as good as Kirk Cousins was. Fuck it, give me the Vikings just to repeat that upset at home.
Give me San Francisco, but God, I'm cheering for Minnesota.
Justin
Jefferson. I want the Vikings to win 16 games with their one loss being to Tennessee. I want them to.
Justin Jefferson is going to have 200 yards in this game. Calling it now. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing Justin Jefferson take over game against the Niners.
All right. Seahawks at Patriots. I'm going to take Seattle. This is going to be a slugfest, though.
Give me the Hawks. I wouldn't call it a slugfest. I just think the Seahawks defense is going to really take control against the Patriots, and then I think the Seattle's offense is going to play better than it did the week before.
Fair enough. Jets at Titans. After watching that game last night, I have no shame in saying Tennessee is winning this football game. Really? To be quite honest with you.
After watching what the Titans did in the second half, I've got zero shame saying that the Jets are going to win the game.
It really can't get much worse offensively or on special teams for Tennessee. I think it's only realistic that they're going to go up. And sure, you could say the same thing about the Jets, both offensively and defensively for the Jets.
One team played the Niners, one team played the Bears. And the Bears are decent.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners are like number 2 Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah. And then Giants at Commanders. I'm going to take Washington.
Same.
But because, Jaden Daniels at least, showed more in that game than Daniel Jones is certainly going to all year. So.
They probably should run Daniel Jones more. It's like, oh no,
I think so too. I think.
Wait, honestly, what happens? Oh no, he's hurt.
If we're just being honest, if Daniel Jones had a little more melanin, he probably would be running. He probably would have more run plays called for. There probably is a stigma there with we got a white dude at quarterback. Let's not draw him up. If I'm just being real, I don't know. I think there's probably something to that of if
probably.
Daniel
what do you have
Jones,
to lose?
Because he's not good at throwing the football. You may as well take advantage of the fact that he does have some speed.
Yeah.
Just run the fucking ball with it.
That defense is probably going to racially profile him too. He'll probably have easier times to find some running lanes.
Speaking of, I think I sent you that tweet about the Colorado offensive line, right?
Probably.
Because it was like the tweet of Colorado beefed up the trenches this year, and it was either transfers or recruits, and it was six guys, and they're all black, and somebody was like, all these dudes listen to in the O-line room is Boss Man D-Lo and I Swear Vazo. There ain't no AC/DC playing in that O-line room. And I'm thinking, you know what? There's not one Polynesian man in that room. There is not one corn-fed Midwestern white guy on that offensive line. I need at least one offensive lineman who not only do you know he's a Republican, he wishes J.D. Vance was leading the ticket. Okay, you take one look at this man. He would say the hard R to your face.
You need a Joe Alt build out there.
You need Joe Alt's build with Dylan Radins' tweet liking history. You need that
Richie
kind of
Incognito aura.
And Richie Incognito's history of racism and bullying. Okay, there's a reason Richie Incognito was in the league for 15 years. Okay,
in a black-dominated league, that man was able to stick around.
Yeah, nearly drove a man to suicide. Yeah, or did he?
I don't know about that. We can just move on to the next game.
And anywho, you need at least one corn-fed Midwestern white dude on your offensive line.
Rams at Cardinals.
It pains me to pick against them. I'm going to take the Rams though. Pains me to pick against Arizona. I'm starting 0-2.
I hate to see the Rams go down 0-2, but I also don't like that for the Cardinals either. I'm going to take the team that's at home. I'll go Cardinals.
I'm taking the Rams.
Puka Nakua's out.
I trust their defense more than I trust Arizona's defense, and Stafford still looks like that dude.
I think Kyler looked pretty good too. So.
Oh no, Kyler's great. It's just defensively, I trust the Rams to do better.
I think the Cardinals got that fire in their belly.
They got the fire in their gut.
Yeah, who took the bus here? I got the Cardinals.
I'm gonna go
Bengals
Rams.
at Chiefs. What is more true? The Bengals sucking the first 3 weeks or the Bengals being the only team that can get to the Chiefs?
It gotta be hilarious if Cincinnati won this game, but
It would be so
I
funny.
have I have a hard time like committing to like Burrowhead, let's go. Like I
I'll
don't
do
know.
it. I'll commit to it. I got Bengals.
I'll pick Kansas City. I need a get back week this week, so let's hope all of my picks are good and all of yours are wrong. Steelers at Broncos. I don't care actually. This is if of all the 4 o'clock games I don't want to watch, this is the one I want to watch least. I don't. Most of these games are typically not very interesting games, anyways. For some reason, there's always like 4 good games at the 1 o'clock slate, and then just a 3-pack of ass at the 4 o'clock. It's like you couldn't divvy that up just a little bit. I know it's based on like location. You know, you got a bunch of like, you got AFC West teams and NFC West teams playing right now in this.
I'll ultimately go Steelers. I can really see this going either way.
I will too, but I don't
like
care.
You want to tell me, hey, Sean Payton gets in the lab, fixes some of the mistakes week 1. They look better week 2, and then the Steelers offense looks the same.
Yeah.
Have nothing with
I
numbers.
I know I laughed at the Justin Fields passing chart. Bo Nix's was just as bad. Not that he didn't throw inside the numbers, but every time he threw to the intermediate level, he had 1 completion at the intermediate level of the field. He had 2 completions to the defense at the intermediate level of the field. All of his other completions were the short. He didn't even have a deep pass attempt in this game. And he was 26 of 42 for 138, 100, something like that. But he had 3.2 yards per attempt. Caleb Williams also had 3.2 yards per attempt. But like Nix's game was honestly a little worse because there was more dropped interceptions by Seattle than caught. Like they caught 2, they should have had 5 in that game. Bo Nix was bad. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts about it. And like you said, Sean Payton can make an adjustment. He's a good coach. Like it's doable. This is a quarterback that he believes in. But I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh because I know Sean Payton believes in Bo Nix. I do not believe in Bo Nix.
I'm also going with the Steelers really just because I have their defense in fantasy and fucking. So I'm just gonna put my faith into that.
Get some turnovers here, yeah.
Bears at Texans for Sunday Night Football.
I think Houston should like somewhat comfortably win this. Like I don't think this is the kind of defense for Caleb to kind of calm down again, especially on the road. Lights are on, and against this defensive line with how he looked last week, it'd be interesting if this was the week he adjusts and
if he steps up in this game, even if they don't win, but like he plays significantly
he
better.
Just looks good.
It'll be like, oh shit, even if it's a loss.
Yeah,
there's a world where the Bears, have their ideal scenario. I mean, obviously, every team's ideal scenario is winning the Super Bowl, but like realistic ideals of just being like, hey, we just keep losing some games, but Caleb looks great.
Yeah.
The typical like, hey, we got a young quarterback, we can get more talent on the roster, and we can get good draft picks and pay guys because our quarterback's cheap and our quarterback is good.
Yeah.
But I got Texans as well. But I think this one, I'm just going to hope that the Bears for some reason the lights are brighter so Caleb calms down somehow and he fucking looks good and then we just have a fun game to watch.
This is a guy who did a lot of Pac-12 after dark. A lot of I think the reason a lot of people, it's a very common take for people to be like, Caleb's overrated or whatever. It's because he was doing the craziest shit you've ever seen while you're in bed at 3 a.m. Like that's why people didn't know how good Caleb was because he was doing this with the lights on all the time. But yeah, I'm gonna go Houston. Monday night we've got Atlanta at Philadelphia. I kind of want Atlanta to win this one.
I want them to. I definitely want them to.
I think I'm gonna pick them. I think I'm gonna do it.
I'll ride with you on that. I'll ride with you on that. Just
I'm gonna
will it. Let's just will it.
Funsies. Let's manifest a Falcons W.
Yeah, I'm down with you. I'm gonna ride on that one. All right, our 16 picks are in. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to tune in to see if Jacob is going to be able to come over this 4-pick deficit.
It's only week 1. Week 1 is a notorious liar. I think I was down pretty early last year, and I ended up winning by like 2 or like 1.5 or some shit.
Good for you.
So I don't know. I don't know what the score was, but
all right.
I know I ended up coming back. Brayden's best. Right?
I'm going to quickly just say something about fantasy. I went 3-1.
I went 1-1.
You lost the one that we're in together.
Yes, I think so.
We'll see how these waiver wires fall out. I don't know if it updates because right now I'm number 1 in the waiver wire.
Interesting.
Because I was the 10th pick.
You've got a Jordan Mason on your list here?
I have every good player on my list here. I'll let you know the ones I put. I put in Jordan Mason. I put in for Isaiah Likely. I put in for Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
I think I put in for J.K. Dobbins as well.
He's a free agent?
I know some leagues he was a free agent. Some leagues of mine he wasn't.
Probably a different league because I think Dobbins was taken in ours.
I'll just pull it up right now. I'll say at least some other leagues I definitely have Dobbins in the queue.
Yeah, he's definitely unrostered in some leagues, but I'd be pretty surprised if he was on
I put in
ours.
Okay, yeah, he must have been rostered. Yeah, so I have Isaiah Likely, Jordan Mason, and Alec Pierce all put in claims for. I think it must be. Is it this one? Yeah. Oh, okay. It's the one I'm in with just Gabe. He's okay. Available.
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
I'll try. I think I'm like 5th for that one, but yeah, for ours, let me double check. I'm still it updated our wins and losses. I'm still listed as waiver wire number 1.
Okay.
You were 9th in that 10-man league.
Yeah, I had the second overall pick.
No, you're 7th for the waiver. I'm sorry, I changed the conversation, but yeah, you're 7th for waiver wire. For like standings, you're 9th.
Yeah.
I am 4th. One above Gabe.
Let's go.
But anyways, all right, Brayden's best. What we got? Other power rankings go from like 10 to 1. We're going from 1 to 10 because I think you should know what 1 is. So, ladies and gentlemen, number 1, the post-week 1 power rankings, Brayden's best. We have the Kansas City Chiefs. No change. They're the defending champs that took care of business. I'm going to keep them at number 1. Coming in at number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. They're the NFC's defending champ. Took care of business week 1. They're going to stay there. At number 3, this team moved up 1 slot. I went with the Detroit Lions at number 3. Big Detroit Lions guy. Love what they're doing. Love the way that they play. I love they have an identity on offense of just being this great running team with some good pass catchers when needed. And then at number 4, this team jumped. Was this team? Oh, yeah. I forgot about this team last time, but I have them here now. Okay. I think they were 9th last time. I think I verbally changed them to 9th, but I didn't edit the list. The Houston Texans. Okay. I just liked what I saw. And some of the other teams that were above them last time either lost or I just didn't like either the competition they played or whatever. But the Texans I have sitting at number 4. And then at number 5, I went with the Buffalo Bills. They beat a Cardinals team that I'm pretty high on. They came back against them. They have my pick for MVP. I think that's going to end up carrying them to a lot of wins. So I got the Bills at 5. At number 6, I decided, you know what? I won't project too far into playoffs and what that's going to look like. So for number 6, I did put the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. They did move up 1 slot. The defense looked really good. Now, it was against Deshaun Watson, so we'll see what's true and what's not. A rookie corner who held up pretty good against Amari Cooper. First-year playing linebacker and Overshown who I was worried about how fast he would look coming off injury. Brother's fast. Yep. DeMarcus Lawrence with 2 sacks, Micah Park. That D-line was just doing what it should.
Yeah, the D-line was doing what it should because, man, that offensive line looks like it's missing Bill Callahan right now.
Yeah, for the Browns, yeah. And then on the flip side,
makes a difference.
Cooper Beebe, first time playing center, at least since college. He didn't play at all in college. I don't know what his high school career looks like, but didn't play center at all in college. is a center right now in the NFL. Gave up 0 pressures his first week, which is great. And that offensive line for the Cowboys as a whole looked pretty good. I didn't watch the game too closely, so I can't say they looked great or anything. I won't go that far.
Guyton did not have a very good day, but he played against Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. So, first game on, you're a rookie. It's okay. He could have better games.
Number 7. I'm not overreacting to I guess I'm reacting a little bit to it, but I won't overreact to this team's week 1 loss because it's expected of this team. I'm going to keep the Bengals here. I'm going to have the Bengals at 7. That one is partly projecting forward and not just what it is right now. Because right now they're bad.
Yeah.
But like we've said, early season Bengals, for whatever reason, fucking suck. They'll turn it on. I fully believe that. So I have them at number 7. At number 8, this is where I put the Baltimore Ravens. You lose to the champs. I'm not going to ding you too harshly on that. It was a very close game. It looked like it was getting out of hand a little bit for them at certain points, but they were able to, push through that, keep it together. They just got so close to just stealing that game. If that touchdown goes in, we'll never get to really see what the 2-point conversion looks like, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered at all. But, I got the Ravens at 8. At number 9, another team that lost week 1. But they weren't even in the power ranking last time, but there's some teams. One team specifically. I think there's actually only one team difference here. Yeah, there's actually only one. Oh, no, Packers also fell out. So Packers fell out, and the Falcons fell out. So we have the new teams are, let's see, this number 9, Colts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm believing in it. I'm believing in AR. I'm believing in Shane Steichen. They played a team that I have at 4 and lost, a close one. So how far back are they really from number 4 if it's that close of a game? I'm going to say not that far. I'm going to have them at number 9. The other team that jumped into the power ranking is one that was originally in it, then take it out. It's now back in it week 1. Yeah. And it is the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just because I'm struggle to find some other teams that I really like. The Eagles, it's like, well, the personnel's there. They beat a team that, had Jordan Love for 99% of the game, and I like the Packers with Jordan Love in there, so I'll give them some credit there. So I have the Eagles at 10.
Okay. I like it. I mean, it's not too overreactionary. You don't have you don't have New Orleans in there. Right.
I had the Bengals at 3 last week. Even with the bad loss, I didn't take them out of the list. I just dropped them down to 7.
Right. Yeah, reasonable. It's the same thing with Baltimore, going to 8. I think that's fair.
Yeah, they went from 5 to 8.
Yeah.
The only worrying thing with Baltimore is how much are they drained mentally from losing to the Chiefs again? Being so amped up all offseason to play them week 1, it's people were saying it was their Super Bowl. It probably kind of was, and then you lose it. I can't remember who they played week 1. I remember thinking it was an easy matchup for them, and it's at home. I think it was the Raiders, right?
They play the Raiders next week.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So at least they should have a game that they should be able to get back mentally. So that's the list.
Yeah. Good. Very good. Very pleased.
Yeah. And then I guess now if you want, we can get deep.
Let's get deep. Well, my headset batteries just got low. Man. Speed it up a bit.
We're gonna speed around.
By the way, I will have a new cord for my headset next week, so we don't have to worry about the battery thing.
Oh, here, you know what? You wanted to have this conversation for top 3. I wasn't quite in love with it. We get to kind of have it here. What is your favorite thing to do in the fall? What a beautiful way that worked out.
I fucking love leaf piles, dog. Fucking love leaf piles. Back when I lived in a state where I could do that.
Yeah.
Shout out jumping in a leaf pile. That shit went hard.
It's fun as a kid. I'll say just standing out in the weather. The fall weather is very nice.
Yeah. Just being posted up. What a nice fit.
I'd be outside for work sometimes. Sometimes we're standing around the trucks. Sometimes we're walking to different sites we're going to. When the weather's nice, makes the job a lot more bearable.
Yeah, definitely.
Between us, who has the crazier family? I feel like we both have like touched on some surface stuff about our families. We haven't gotten too deep into what actually goes on with our families. There's one thing.
Hang on. I win.
You definitely win. I didn't want to say it, but I was like, this is gonna be Jacob. But I'm just saying, like,
because I have one family member in particular, no longer a family member, but was a family member who
I wasn't gonna point this out, but I was like, he wins just from that that alone.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I was just saying, like, we don't actually know. We honestly don't know that much truly about each other's families, but I don't think either of us really care to talk about them.
Yeah.
What is your favorite nickname I have for you? We don't really be doing nicknames.
Didn't we have this question last week? Or like a couple weeks ago? We've had this.
We've had something similar.
Yeah.
We've definitely had. We definitely had catchphrases. I remember that one. Whoa.
What we got?
Yes. Oh, one is, what is your favorite nickname you have for me? And the other is, what is your favorite nickname I have for you?
We don't really do them.
Yeah, I'll just pull another one. But yeah, they have pretty much the same question, but just flipped who's asking who.
Interesting.
All right, deeper. We'll just pull another one. Describe a time when you were being defensive and not open-minded.
There's definitely been plenty of times.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
not a lot of recent. Not a lot of recent though, which is good. Lots of times. Certainly, I don't know. I mean, all of my opinions have evolved over the years, and it was when I stopped getting defensive and started being that they were able to do that. So, I guess any argument I got into when I was like 14, I don't know. I don't have like many specifics here. It's just
I don't want to reopen this conversation.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna say what it is, and we're not gonna talk about it.
All right,
we're not talking about it. I'm just gonna say what it was, and we're not talking about it.
We're not. Okay, I promise.
Last year's game of the year.
What was last year's game of the year?
The winner of last year's game of the year. I think this was last year. Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, okay.
We're not getting back into this.
We're not going to discuss.
We're not getting back into this, but that I was very defensive, and I stamped. Anyways, wavelength.
Let's not open that can of worms. Yeah, wavelength. All right. You guess first.
Yes, I closed my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. The audience has seen. They've seen many things.
All right. Let's start off with a NFL team's performance week 1 last week.
We'll go with the Steelers.
Okay. They ultimately won, but it didn't look that good. So we're looking anywhere from like, I'm leaning 4-6, like around mid. Because ultimately they won, so you don't want to say it's bad, but it did not look good. So 4-6.
Yeah.
Give me a flavor of potato chip.
I'm gonna go with vinegar, salt and vinegar. After you've had quite a few already.
That's a very specific, and it definitely knocks it down. Because for me, salt and vinegar is in competition for my favorite. But the way you painted that picture, I definitely get what you're trying to convey here, so I'll knock it down.
I feel the pain right here just speaking that sentence.
I'll endure the pain because I love it. I love salt and vinegar, but I think you painted enough of a picture. I'll sit at like a 5. I'll sit at 5. I could really get swayed in either way, though, so I'll sit at a 5 right now. Let's go with just give me a holiday. I know it's tough because holidays are just positive things.
Yeah. Total side note, this is not my answer, but I think today is actually National Suicide Prevention Day. So,
I think I saw something about that too, yeah.
If you're struggling talk to somebody, man. But the world's a better place with you in it, so don't leave it. Stay here.
It's hard to believe it at
And enjoy
times, but
life.
truly, you are enough.
Yes, always. Now that's not, of course, not the holiday I'll be picking. That'd be a 10. Um,
For me, it's an important one, but my tens would probably be more positive ones.
well, yeah. No, I mean that's it's still dark, but it's still. I don't want to be like, you know. Anywho,
6 out of
uh,
10. Don't kill
whatever.
yourself, kinda, I guess.
Yeah, I mean you shouldn't, but like
But like fucking Christmas, that's a 10.
I don't know. I mean, this shit's kind of mid if you ask me.
It's like, what do I do? Pinata's probably a bad idea.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say birthday. Honestly, I'm gonna say
Okay.
birthday.
I think we're both pretty like chill with birthdays
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how we celebrate them. I'll say like a 6. I'll sit at a 6 right now. Ultimately, it's cool day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, 2 more.
2 more. Let's just go to zoo attraction. You're at the zoo.
Crisp little anteater.
An anteater. Okay, that's a cool hey, it's
Anteater.
on the way to this other attraction. Let's stop, take a peek, move on. I'm still feeling 6. It's like, hey,
Yeah, 1 more.
look at that. Look at that little long, skinny nose boy eating some ants. 1 more. I want a good one. Let's see how deep your bag is here. Give me a Cartoon Network show.
Oh, how deep is the bag? I mean, I got a pretty deep bag.
Because your bag for the top of these numbers probably pretty deep. 10s, 9s,
Oh, for sure.
8s.
But for
this number.
Rate, I may have to.
Feel free.
Yeah. Actually, no, I have one.
Okay.
I have one. And I'm gonna say Johnny Test.
Okay. I think that's one I really did enjoy as a kid.
Right.
Totally could see how it's just not gonna age as well as some of these other ones.
Right.
I've been on 6 most of this time. I think I'm gonna stick at 6. 6 final answer.
Final answer. It was 5.
Damn. Okay.
It did go 5, and I do think there is somewhat of a component of recency bias with the questions, because had you asked the first 2 questions as your last 2, your answer might have been 5.
Possibly.
You never know.
Maybe if I had stopped to think about everything that had been listed, maybe I would have brought myself back down.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know.
Whatever.
But yeah, I'm with you on the salt and vinegar chips. I will power through until I can't anymore, and then when it is that bad, I'm like, okay, I gotta stop now. But yeah, I'm with you. I love them. I love them. First bite of salt and vinegar chips, 10 out of 10. After the 30th chip, we're reaching 5-6 range.
That's fair.
So
very fair. But I think that's another one because it's I just love salt and vinegar so much.
Yeah, I fucking love them.
But yeah, all right, close your eyes, good sir. I've had the number locked.
All right,
the number has been shown. Ask
Give me
away.
a Doritos flavor, big dog. Doritos flavor.
I would say I would probably go with Cool Ranch.
I don't know if you're a Cool Ranch guy. Some people are they ride for that shit. That's the best thing they ever put in their mouth.
I've also seen some heavy haters.
Person. I'm not a hater, but I think it's pretty good. But it ain't all that. It ain't all that necessary. But it's not all that and a bag of chips. It's just a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? But
I'll say I'm glad you asked that question for this number. I don't have a deep bag on Dorito flavors, but it
right.
It
I wouldn't
worked.
be able to give you. I wouldn't be able to give you a 2 out of 10 Dorito flavor, but I can give you a 10. I can give you a 8.
Maybe I did. Who knows?
Shit. But yeah, I'm not a big Cool Ranch guy person. I want to say 8.
Okay.
I think I might have to go with 8. I think there's better flavors, and I think I'll go with the nacho cheese. I'd rather have the spicy sweet chili. That's probably my favorite one. Uh,
I see. I just don't remember that one that much. I don't know if I've had it or if I just don't remember it from whenever I did.
I don't know. I think 8, 9. I don't think it's a 10, but I think it's 8, 9.
Okay.
7's a possibility. I don't think it's any lower than 7. I think it's within those.
Anywhere from 7 to 9, you're leaning 8.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Give me. Give me a Disney XD show. Do you have any bag with Disney XD whatsoever?
I think enough to answer this one.
Okay.
But I'm torn between two, and I'm just like, for Disney XD, how do I scale this? Because Disney XD, I don't think it had some good shows, but I don't think it had like a 10 on Disney XD doesn't touch a 10. It doesn't touch a 10 on Cartoon Network. So I think for 8. We've gone through this whole time. I figured this would happen at some point.
All right,
one of us would do it.
That's where I was leaning anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
because you said 8 out loud, so it was just on the tip of my tongue.
Right, and Cool Ranch is a very 8 out of 10 flavor.
Yeah.
To be honest, like that would carry a lot.
I think I was gonna say like Lab Rats.
Okay, yeah, and I think I'd agree with you there. Now let's just rapid fire 3 more, just so I can get your opinions on stuff.
Okay.
All right, give me an 8 out of 10 green tea flavor.
Green tea flavor?
Yeah, 8 out of 10 green tea flavor.
I think cherry.
Okay.
From what I've had.
Give me 8 out of 10 gym exercise.
Let's see. Let's just go with a nice, solid, flat bench press.
You probably like that a little more than I do. That's okay though.
I like chest. I like hitting chest a lot, so that's why it's gonna be a little higher. And then incline bench press would probably be higher than the flat.
Love me some incline bench, but yeah, decline bench sucks. By the way, that shit's.
I like it. I'm gonna be honest. I
like doing it, but it's not as beneficial to you as like incline or flat are. And it's like I wish it developed the underside of your chest more. It doesn't. Like scientifically, it's not as like hitting incline bench does not, and what that does for your upper chest. Like decline bench does not do the same thing for your lower chest that incline bench does for your upper. It just doesn't, which is sad. It's a shame. I wish it did, but anywho, I get one more take to get from you here. So give me 8 out of 10 kicker. How deep is your kicker bag?
Kicker bag? Probably not that deep.
10 kicker.
So if Brandon Aubrey and Justin Tucker are 10s.
Is Justin Tucker a 10 right now? I don't know that he is.
It was week 1. He missed a kick.
He missed a lot of long balls last year too. It's not just week 1. This is a continuation from what he did.
I'll let his pedigree keep him at 10.
He's a 9, but yeah, I get it.
All right, but Brandon Aubrey is probably kicker 1 in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And then let's see where do you put Boswell? Is he?
Yeah, that's fine. He's in there's like a very strong tier of like 7, 8 for kickers. Like Nick Folk is one of them because he hits all the short kicks.
I mean, it's recency bias because he just came off having a crazy game.
Yeah.
But I'll say Chris Boswell.
Yeah. Jake Moody as well, so had a great game last night. Missed quite a few kicks in his rookie season, but good game.
I think Younghoe Koo is probably like a 9.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been getting the opportunities in Atlanta that he should to really have himself in some better conversations.
We want to do top 3?
Yes. Top 3 of the week. Pixar movies.
What?
I think you go first for
sure
3
do.
here.
Number 3. I'm going to go with Toy Story 2.
Okay.
My favorite Toy Story film.
Mm.
I fucked with Prospector Pete. It's like the story, Woody's gone. fish out of water type shit. He's met some new friends. Except he quickly realizes he's not where he wants to be.
Right.
And then he finds his way back home, and I think
Right.
that's really cute. And probably my favorite one to watch. I'm gonna go with Toy Story 2.
Okay. My number 3, I went with just Toy Story. Just
Okay.
kind of representing the whole trilogy. I haven't seen the fourth. Do not care to see the fourth.
Either.
The trilogy was so good. So it's kind of representative of the whole thing. And then also just some of the... It's like, wow, this was great for the time, but seeing the animation now, it has a little charm to it being the way that it is, seeing like the way the humans look, seeing the way the dog looks in that. I mean, just kind of funny.
1, 2, and 3 are all really good.
Yeah, they're all great movies.
I love the trilogy. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with number 3, the boys becoming boys. Woody and Buzz coming together at the end. We'll go Toy Story at number 3. Your number 2, sir.
My number 2. Incredibles.
Okay.
The Incredibles is my number 2. This movie fucks. This movie's just fucking great. Love the family. Love their dynamic. Love how Mr. Incredible kind of has to cope with, just kind of getting old. It's just really cute. And then, Syndrome's a great villain, I think. I love the just petty backstory. It's just a fun way to make a villain. Just like, you were mean to me, and then that's it. It's the whole thing. Just a good fucking movie, man. Fucks with it. I haven't seen it in a minute. I should rewatch it. Yeah, I love it.
Good one. My number 2, I went with Soul. Have you
That's
seen?
That's a banger. Underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated banger. Yes.
Really love Soul. Just a great movie about your purpose, what that really means. Is it even really a thing? And how it kind of tackles it. One of my favorite YouTubers, when that movie was announced, people were like, "Yo, bro, you look just like the fucking main guy in Soul." And it was kind of a meme for a little bit, and he saw the movie and he was like, "Y'all can call me the main guy from Soul. This movie was fucking great." So yeah, just a really good movie. Music backdrop to kind of the whole thing, with some jazz.
Yeah.
So you like jazz?
You like jazz?
But yeah, great movie. It's
Soul
one
was
that
hard.
I saw it, and then I pretty much told my whole family, I was like, yo, y'all gotta watch this fucking movie. You guys have gotta watch this movie. It's really good. Soul, number 2. Your number 1, sir.
No question about it. For me, it's Ratatouille. Ratatouille solos. Ratatouille clears.
This is where your hair pulling kink started, right?
Yes, sir. Damn straight. You can pull any white boy's hair and make him do anything. This ain't special, by the way.
As a white boy.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I could
Any
make.
hair.
You could make me do nothing could make me do anything by pulling off.
Yeah.
But
you'll make me
know.
think nothing by doing it. My brain will just be in such serenity.
Yep. But I fucking love everything about this movie, man. I love Remy. I have one of my favorite antagonists in any movie ever. I love the Gusteau, the flashback scene. That shit's brilliant. It's just I rewatched it a couple of years ago. I gotta watch it again. Yeah. It's such a good fucking movie. But the floor is yours, sir.
My number 1 has been touched on already, as my number 1 is The Incredibles.
Okay, fair enough.
Love The Incredibles. Good family dynamic. Syndrome, one of the best villains.
Yeah.
Super fun as a villain. Fanboy, gone wrong. We see stand culture and what it can birth.
Yeah.
But just a fun one. I remember my dad had like a little Jack plush that he would take with him anytime he went on any trips or deployments. So there's just fun pictures of Jack in guns and Humvees and stuff from being places. But just really good movie. Definitely my favorite Pixar movie. But now that I've said this, the one I actually want to rewatch the most right now is Soul. Let me hop back on that one because I've seen Incredibles a couple times.
I've only seen Soul once. I should watch it again.
Yeah, I've only seen Soul once. But I might have seen it twice because I think I watched it by myself, and then I think I might have watched it with my sister. I'm not 100% though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good movie. But yeah, that's top 3 of the week,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for what we've been on. Jacob.
I think the list is pretty short. I mean, football. By the way, Vols are fucking awesome. Vols fuck. All right, we beat the brakes off of NC State. Just really great to watch. I think Dylan Sampson might be the first running back drafted this year. I don't think that's ridiculous to say.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Not ridiculous to say that. You have no idea how good Dylan Sampson was. Okay, like this man, really fast. Let's start that out. He's going to run the 4.4s, like low 4.4s, I think. Great contact balance, catches the ball well. He's learned to pass protect this year. It was a weakness for him last year. It's not anymore. And he's the lead back there because everybody behind him is an underclassman for the most part, I think. So I think Deshaun Bishop's a junior, but it's just not like as good of a player. And then, he's the guy. He's the lead back. He's earned it, and he looks the part. Man, I don't know. He looks great. Nico looks really good. He had 2 interceptions in this game, but one of them was like hit at the line. The trajectory changed. So for all we know, that could have been an accurate pass. The reason it looked not good was because it was hit. And then another one, he just got hit as he threw it, and then ball arced super high, and then it being a pick 6. But I mean, that was like a Chris Paul hits a deep 3 to cut the lead down to 43 type of pick 6.
I'm so glad, dude. Because it's my favorite team, but I'm just saying, like, your favorite team birthing a meme like that is so funny and so rewarding. Because that was against the Mavs when the Mavs just dicked them in Game 7. Seeing that meme continue to be around, and you're like, my team caused that. That's why this meme's around. It's so nice. It's so beautiful.
But I mean, I haven't listened. There was no music that came out last week that I was really wanting to hear. In a couple weeks, though, we're getting the new Bright Eyes album. I will be talking about that, I'm sure, because I'll listen to that the day.
Oh, you listen to music?
I don't know what we're getting. No, not really. I did. I've been listening to some Bob Dylan. Oh, I did go record shopping. I went to the record store for the first time in a long time. I bought "Speaking in Tongues" by Talking Heads and "Station to Station" by David Bowie. So I did go record shopping. So I did do that, but I haven't really heard any like new music. I've been listening to some other shit, but. Yeah, that's it for me. I ain't got nothing.
You reminded me, I did go to there's like a retro game store near me. They got a Wii section.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I got Tangled. I don't know if I know I probably said it in the group chat. I don't know if I said anything on the pod or not.
I don't remember.
But yeah. So I there's that near me. Got Tangled because it's one of the games that I have in the Wii Vault, but the disc wasn't reading. And I had promised, and I teased it way back that I was gonna do it. Disc didn't read, couldn't do it, so now to right that wrong, I got the game.
Okay.
But let's see. Anything else other than that? Not really. I don't think so. Just been chilling. Just not doing much. Yeah. Not much is out.
I hear you.
I know what I'll have something to bring next week. I'm watching a movie this weekend that's coming out. So I'll have something next week. But this week, I don't really got much. So that's it for me.
I don't know what music's coming out this Friday. So if there's anything good, I mean, I'll be here with some opinions on that. But I don't know. I don't know what's coming.
So,
we'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Next week's pod, as always, will be over on Avillion Talks. So go check out that channel. Subscribe to it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Go ahead and like this video. Comment anything down below. Maybe some stuff. We gave some takes here. What did you agree with most? What did you disagree with most? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe because I got a lot of good stuff, a lot of great stuff coming on this channel, including more of this podcast. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep gaming.